Welcome everyone to Women of the Military podcast. I'm so excited to have Lizanne here. We are going to be talking about GoVA, and I just can't wait to share about what they're doing and a little bit about their company. And Lizanne and I have known each other for years, and so I know her pretty well on the military spouse side and the work she's been doing for there for years. But she is now the director of marketing and content at GoVA. She is well known in the military community as the seasoned spouse. She established the Seasoned Spouse blog in 2016. Since then, she has written hundreds of articles and authored 3 books for the military spouse community with a focus on supporting military families through the many challenges of military life. So, welcome to the show, Lizanne. I'm so excited to have you here.
Hi, Amanda. Such a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you.
So let's get started. We got to know a little bit about you, and people can go to your blog, Seasoned Spouse, to learn more about you. But now let's shift the focus to GoVA. So, what is GoVA, and how do they support the military community?
Absolutely. So it's a new fintech startup that a lot of people in the military community have not heard of, but I'm really proud to be working for them because we are focused on using modern technology to give military families free access to high quality financial tools. So it's all about interactive learning and getting your hands on calculators to help you make the most of your money. And our mission is all about empowering people to build financial strength. So I love that we're taking some of the intimidating and sometimes frustrating parts out of making those money decisions. And we're all about building people up, building their confidence, teaching them certain money strategies, and giving you the tools that you need at any point in your military journey. So the unique thing about our membership to the Edge is that we have it all covered for the military community with free scholarships from our sponsors. So we're proudly able to we are proudly able to offer free membership to veterans, to active duty members, and to their spouses.
Yeah, and I love that the military community is not just, military members who are currently serving, but it's all, you encompass all the military community, including veterans. And so I think it's really cool to have these resources because military families and veterans change. I have my words. They both face challenges with finances, and I think there's a unique situation based on military service no matter what stage of life you're in, so I'm really excited to learn more.
Yeah, absolutely. We initially focused on the veteran community. The name of the company, GoVA, came from helping people who were seeking VA loans, and a lot of them were service members who were either leaving the military, approaching retirement age and looking for that first home or that forever home. So the focus was about helping veterans process their VA loan correctly, making sure that that paperwork actually went through and they could get all the benefits that they had earned. And since then, we started realizing the depth of financial need in the military community. So we've really expanded to offer this full range of tools that is available for everyone for their complete financial journey, whether you're just starting out and having a family and trying to figure out how to make a budget and how to make that military salary work for your household, or whether you're much further along and you're looking at things like retirement and investing in real estate or making some really important financial choices.
Yeah, so it sounds like you have the gamut of resources going from like the very, beginning when you're first starting to be on your own to, someone who is like a seasoned, in their financial journey, but they're looking for new ways to expand and grow. So that's really cool. So you talked about like you help military families and you have resources. So let's talk about why do military families need financial resources? I think we touched on it a little, but there's more to it than that.
Sure. I think, first of all, let's be honest, this is an underserved community when it comes to financial benefits and financial resources. There are options out there. I know there's quite a few websites and apps that are provided either by the DoD or by other military affiliated companies, but often the resources that are offered are just kind of a static list of blog posts. And I'm a blog writer myself. I'm very proud of some of the articles that I've written and the content that's out there, but it's not able to adapt to modern changes or updates in DoD policy and just the full gamut of your financial journey, you can't always find the information that you need. So, what I think is unique about our platform, the Edge, is that it's able to adapt to the user. We use AI, we use smart technology that can remember your answers to certain quizzes. It can remember the content that you've viewed, whether you found a particular course or a topic interesting, and then it can suggest comments and suggest additional content that will really enhance your journey. Because I think so often military families are placed in these unusual situations where we might have some type of financial stability. We might think we have everything all set, and then along comes a PCS move or a deployment or some other wrench in the works that's really going to throw off our household budget, our financial plans, our goals of saving for ourselves and for our family. So there's so many things in military life that really make this life challenging and make it difficult to have consistent financial choices. A lot of military spouses struggle with things like unemployment, lack of affordable childcare, and all of that combined with PCS moves and instability to make families really struggle to have any type of consistency. So that's why we're very proud to offer what we have and to have a high quality product that I think military families deserve.
Yeah, and I think it's really key that you have something that's changing and flexible because I think that the challenges military families are facing are changing dramatically. And a blog post that was relevant, even 5 years ago is not relevant to the challenges that we're having today, especially with how much housing has changed and how, when you PCS, you go from when we were in Virginia, we were living comfortably and our BH covered our rent because we'd been living there for so long and it had gone up. And then we moved across the country to California where rent like exploded and it's gone up twice. It's actually gone up $1,000 since we've moved here, which or starting in 2024, and it's still like not comparable to what it was when we lived in LA before, like with what we could rent with the house. It's just insane.
It's frustrating,
Yeah.
like reinventing yourself and your household and your budget every single time you move, every time you go through those major changes, and it's just a huge setback every time.
Yeah, and I feel like it's really hard for military families to know, like, you don't have control over where you're gonna go, you don't have control over, you know, if there's even options to live on base or if that option is feasible for your family, especially if you're trying to work and, like, the base is not located at the same place as the housing in LA, so it's really complicated, and I think that's what makes military life so challenging is so often people try to put you in, like, a box, and it's like, yeah, like, maybe some people fit in that box, but so many people don't because life is so complicated and there's so many different facets, especially when it comes to finances.
Yeah, and that's what I love about our tools is just the depth and the quality. It's frankly not something that I've seen before, even on military banking websites. The ability to grow with you, to learn from your responses, and to match content to your money style and your financial state of life. Some people are looking at car loans, and some people are trying to buy a home, and some people are just trying to pay down their student loans, and there's going to be different priorities for each of those situations, especially when we're talking about veterans and planning for retirement. Military retirement is on a different timeline than a lot of civilian retirement calculators. So you're looking at different factors and different decision making, and it's really helpful to have the support of tools that can kind of learn with you and adapt and offer you new content all the time.
That is so true. Yeah, I've definitely used a financial tool for retirement where it's like it doesn't factor in like the pension the way that the military system works and it's like gives you this number you're like this doesn't really help and so then you find yourself like coming up with an excel spreadsheet to try and figure it out because you can't find a tool that actually works. So it's great to hear that you guys are working to create something like that that adapts with you and knows the unique situations that military families face. So that's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, how do people sign up? I was gonna save this for the end, but I feel like we're talking about the Edge right now. So, how do people sign up for this free resource? Where should they go?
Yeah, you can go to our website, mygova.com, and at the sign up page or the login button, on almost every page, we have a big red button that encourages you to learn more. And that will take you to a registration page for the Edge membership. And on that page, it's proudly displayed that we have scholarships for military families, so you can get immediate access to a free scholarship. If you are a veteran or a service member or the spouse of one of those, then you can sign up immediately for a free membership right on our page, and it'll take you directly into the dashboard with all of your membership tools, and you can start exploring different topics that are relevant to you.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I signed up, it was really easy and really hard to miss because there are, like, large buttons being like, "Go here!" So, yeah, I agree, it's so easy, and I'll have the link in the show notes so that if you want to find it easily, you can just click on it there, so we'll have that for you. So, we talked a little bit about why military families need financial resources, and we talked a little bit about some of the tools they offer, but are there more resources? And what makes your company so unique?
Yeah, so I think we've talked a little bit about the AI and the technology that really makes these financial resources stand out above some of the other, blogs and apps and things that are out there. But we also have for our members an opportunity to connect with our concierge center, which is real people who can answer your calls and who can direct you to resources that are going to be relevant for your decision making. So our company model is all about educate. We come from an education first mindset. That's what all of these courses and financial tools are helping you to do. They're empowering you to learn about your own options and your own choices. So we focus first on educate, but then we prepare and deploy people into the resources that they need to actually carry out, whether you're looking to buy a home or get a car or pay down a student loan or save for retirement. And so the Concierge Center can help our members to connect with resources that are vetted in our military community, that are already familiar and comfortable working with military families and situations. So whether you're, for example, looking for a real estate agent or a mortgage lender or a credit card that's going to have military friendly benefits, the Concierge Center can direct you to those things, which I think it's pretty cool to have real people interacting with you as well as all the depth of the AI technology on the app. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. And then I guess we really want to offer high quality financial tools to our community. So we hope that that's what makes us stand out and will make our members keep coming back and constantly returning to the platform to learn more, to see what topics have been updated, to see what step is recommended next for them on their financial journey. There's a little bit of rewards and gamification when you sign on to the platform. So it'll give you points. It'll tell you that, when you've finished a course or when you've completed something that you're growing from a little sprout into like a bigger tree. And so it's fun to kind of watch your progress and see how it walks you through the whole journey.
I love that. I love the gamification aspect. That sounds really fun. And then I also love having like real people that you can talk to because, there's so many things out there and there's so many scams out there. So sometimes if you like hear about something, I'm always like, is this real? Is this too good to be true? And so it'd be nice to have someone that you can like vet it through without having to miss out on an opportunity that really is great for military families or, get scammed. There's always that worry that, there's something out there and it's too good to be true. And it really is too good to be true. And so having real people along with an AI tool is like amazing.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of importance in building trust in our community, right? We're always a little bit hesitant to trust new things and new organizations. And so because GoVA is new, we're working really hard to build that trust. I'm a military spouse myself. I've lived this journey with my service member for like 2 decades now. And the people on our concierge center are also military spouses. We specifically went to our community to have people answering your calls be members of the community and informed and looking for the same values and the same quality that you are. So it's not just, some random third party thing that we hired out, but it's something that's very personal and that we take seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like the mission is really personal and I think it's great that you guys are employing military spouses. That's a big, topic in the military community of military spouse unemployment is super high. And so to be able to support the military community by giving back and providing not only resources but also jobs is really amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more about why GoVA's mission is so personal to not only you, but to the owners of the company?
Yeah, I think it really is personal to the whole team. So our founder, Phil Johnny, is actually not from the military community. He has about 2 decades of experience in mortgage lending and working as a broker. And he started noticing that every time he was processing VA loans for military families, that they were having complicated issues. Loans were being rejected because of paperwork errors. It was just unnecessarily difficult to get military families approved for VA loans and into these homes that they had earned and that they could afford. And he realized it was sort of a broken system. So he founded GoVA to address some of those issues. We have some AI tools that we're working on to improve that process. They'll be coming soon, hopefully in the next year. But in the process of researching the community and learning more about military family needs, he realized there was such a broad need for all financial tools that it's hard to do your research and understand how to buy a house if you don't know how mortgages work or how to compare different rates or what makes a good lender versus a bad lender. So there's such a need for education and knowledge on all these financial topics that he really wanted to work hard to get those tools into the hands of our community. So he hired several veterans to be on the team to advise him to speak directly to the veteran community. He hired myself and another military spouse. So we now have a majority of our team that has a direct connection to the military lifestyle. We've lived it ourselves and we care very deeply about the people that we're working with and serving. So it's definitely a priority for all of us. I think for myself, I have not been in the financial community professionally, but I'm very passionate about it because of the personal experiences that I've lived through. So, you know, Amanda, that my husband has been enlisted for 20 years now, or 22 years actually. And that means that I've been with him from before boot camp when we were very, very young and had very little income. And I've gone through all those common military spouse challenges that you mentioned earlier. I struggled with unemployment when we moved. I struggled with raising our kids when he was deployed and I couldn't get a job because I had to be the default parent. I struggled with living overseas where there was actual employment restrictions. And even though I wanted to work, Americans weren't allowed to be hired because it would take jobs from the local community. So going through some of those situations meant that there were definitely situations where we, you know, not that we couldn't pay all of our bills, but when we were first dating, there were times when I did have to pay his bills. There was a time when I was making more than him before we were married and I joined him in military life. So I'm aware of a lot of the challenges, especially that our younger enlisted families face. And there's a lot of questions and a lot of things that we've learned along the way. My husband is very proactive and does his own research. And eventually he kind of became like the go-to default financial guy in his units, which was always fun for him to answer questions for people and give out some unofficial advice. However, it would be really frustrating when people that were just a year or two from retirement would be coming to him asking, how should I organize my investments and like how should I save for retirement? And at that point, you're thinking it's almost too late. You should have been doing this for the past decade or more, and you can't just quick fix that problem. So I think the earlier that we educate people, the sooner that they have access to these very user friendly, very welcoming tools that make finances not a scary topic, make it more accessible to a community that really needs the tools. And the sooner that people can get access to that, the better off they're going to be and the more informed they are to make stronger choices and more empowered choices throughout their journey.
Yeah, I believe that, like, most people learn their financial, like, basics from their parents, and so many military people who join the military, from my experience of the podcast, are looking for a way out of, like, a really hard family situation, and that likely means that they don't have, like, strong financial, foundations because of how their life was before they joined the military, and, like, even having a stable paycheck, they might not know what to do with it because they've never lived in a situation where they've had that, and so having these financial tools, it's not something they teach in schools, it's usually taught just by like family tradition. And if you don't know what to do with your paycheck, you don't know what to do with it. And so it's great to have these tools and resources to help people to say, Like, you need to invest, you need to save, you need to prepare for, emergencies. You don't want to buy a car that's your entire paycheck because there's other things you have to pay for. But it it's hard because if you don't know all these things, how are you supposed to know? It's sometimes like the way parents like sometimes I expect my kids to know things because they seem like basic things, and then I realize, no, I haven't actually taught them or told them this thing, and so how are they supposed to know it? They can't just know it by intuition, and so I think financial tools and resources and helping people understand, like, how to build a budget, it seems, like, so basic and people say it over and over, but if you've never heard it and you don't even know what build a budget means and it's just random words, then how do you get to that point where you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point that our community, maybe one of the reasons that we are underserved is because of that lack of education. A lot of spouses and service members kind of live off on their own so early in life, maybe in their teenage years or their early 20s, and they haven't fully had a chance to explore and develop these tools. But we also found that a lot of people have a concept that managing your money is something that only millionaires need to do, that you don't need to seek a financial planner or a financial advisor or get financial coaching until you have, I don't know, multiple mansions or something. And the reality is that, well, yes, I'm sure that those people need very specific tax guidance and advice, that all of us can benefit from learning a little bit more about how our money is working and get it to work for us, how to invest, how to save up for the things that are important to you. And the tricky thing about a budget is that it's going to be different for everyone. And so we talked earlier about just when you move from one state to another, from one household to another, when your employment situation changes, then every time you do that, your budget has to adjust. So if you're not comfortable working with some type of a budget tool and looking at a lot of numbers on a spreadsheet, then it's going to feel very intimidating. But what I love about the membership to the Edge is that it tries to make it much more welcoming and encouraging. When you're taking your initial quiz, I will tell you a secret. No matter how you answer, it's going to give you encouraging feedback on the side that says, like, don't worry, 60% of our responders also feel this way. Or we found that a majority of people also are in that situation. And so it's very welcoming. It's not judging you. It's not saying, like, how dare you not have anything saved for your retirement. So I really like that the tools are just accessible, they're fun to use, they're user friendly, and hopefully they're making a difference in people's lives.
Yeah, and then it's an encouragement because you hear that, like, "Oh, I'm not the only one who's like this," instead of, like, "You should have started 10 years ago." It's like, "Don't worry, you can start today and we'll help you." So I love that. So, what projects does GoVA have coming up in this new year, 2024? I can't believe it's already here.
I know it's a big year for us. We're very excited. You're going to see us at a lot of military events. We're really making an effort to connect directly with the veteran and the military spouse community. So we're going to be doing a lot. But the first thing that you can get involved in right now is a program I'm running at the end of the month called Budget Boot Camp. And this is a week long virtual event. It's all going to be on our Facebook page. And you can find all these resources that you need to kind of, if you've never experienced doing a budget, it's going to get you started with that. If you have New Year's resolutions about, I should really figure out how to manage my money better, then we're going to have tools to help you with that. And if you're someone who had to open up your credit card bill recently and see the effect of the holiday spending, we're going to meet you where you are. We're going to help get you back on track. We're going to talk about some easy strategies that you can implement to start making a difference right now. So, the budget boot camp, I think you're going to drop a link in the show notes, but you can register for that right now. It is free to all veterans, all military families, all spouses currently serving, anyone affiliated with the military community. We want to make it very public and welcoming and a great place where you can just kind of check in for free and get a peek at some of these resources that we're talking about and hopefully get your new year started off on the right foot.
Yeah, and there's been big changes for military families because the DoD just approved a 5.2% raise, and then BAH may have gone up in your area. I've seen that it's gone up like $3 or like $300. That's the range that I've kind of seen on the different Facebook groups, but hopefully you're not in the $3 range. I feel really like I was like, why did they do that? But those changes really impact your budget, so it's really important even if your budget was fine last year, like, to look at it again. So it sounds like a great tool and resource to go through this budget boot camp and to see, like, is there a way now that we got a little pay raise that I can adjust my budget, plan more for retirement, pay down debt, different things just to look at. And I think that's really great.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. And I know some of those changes just went into effect. So it's exciting to see. But we also have to remember that in some places, people are seeing decreases, especially in some of those OCONUS, what do they call it? COLA quantities in people stationed in Hawaii and other locations. Your BAH might not have changed and your base pay might have gone up. But if you lose some of your COLA dollars, then you are definitely going to see an impact on your household overall budget. So we're going to help you keep track of all those numbers and, be able to face the new year confidently and be able to make the choices that are best for you and your family.
Another great example of how military families have such unique life experiences and, like, cola, they should have a cola in LA, but they don't, and and so I don't think about that, but it is true, like, that does have a huge impact on your overall budget, so that makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, there's even more things to think about. So, to wrap up, I wanna ask, what message do you have for military families?
Yeah, I think if you'd have one takeaway, it's just that we want you from GoVA to be empowered and informed. We want you to be making strong financial choices. And I know that that's personal and that's going to look different for every family. But no matter where you are on your military journey and your financial journey, we want you to always be able to take a step towards a better future. So hopefully, by learning about options and using tools like the Edge, you'll have the confidence to take that first step.
Thank you so much for being a guest, and yes, I'll have all the links to GoVA and to the budget boot camp so that you can register in the show notes. So thank you so much, Lizanne, for being a guest and for supporting Women of the Military podcast.
Of course, it's my pleasure. Thanks again.